Reincarnation is the belief that the soul or the essence of a person can be reborn in a different body after death. Some people claim to have memories or experiences of their past lives, and some even claim to be the reincarnation of famous or historical figures. One of these people is Barbro Karlen, a Swedish writer who claims to be the reincarnation of Anne Frank, the Jewish girl who wrote a diary while hiding from the Nazis during World War II. How did Barbro Karlen discover her connection to Anne Frank, and what evidence does she have to support her claim? This is the story of Barbro Karlen, the woman who says she's Anne Frank reincarnated. Anne Frank was born in 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. She was the second daughter of Otto and Edith Frank and the younger sister of Margot. Her family was Jewish, and they faced increasing persecution and discrimination under the Nazi regime. In 1933, they moved to Amsterdam, Netherlands, where they hoped to find safety and freedom. Anne was a bright and lively girl who enjoyed reading, writing, and playing with her friends. She had a dream of becoming a writer or a journalist, and she expressed her thoughts and feelings in her diary, which she received as a gift for her 13th birthday. In 1940, the Nazis invaded and occupied the Netherlands and imposed harsh and brutal measures against the Jewish population. They forced them to wear yellow stars, restricted their movement and rights, and deported them to concentration camps where they faced torture, starvation, and death. Anne Frank and her family decided to go into hiding, along with 4 other people, in a secret annex behind Otto Frank's office building. They lived there for 2 years, relying on the help of some trusted employees and friends, who provided them with food, supplies, and news. Anne Frank continued to write in her diary, documenting her daily life, her fears, her hopes, and her feelings. The secret annex was a small and cramped space where 8 people had to share 2 rooms and a bathroom. They had to be very quiet and careful to avoid being detected by the Nazis or the neighbors. They had to endure boredom, hunger, cold, illness, and constant anxiety. Anne Frank often clashed with her parents and the other adults, who she felt did not understand her. She also developed a close friendship and a romantic relationship with Peter Van Pels, one of the other people in hiding. She confided in him and in her diary, which she called Kitty. She wrote about her hopes for the future and her belief in the goodness of humanity. On August 4, 1944, the secret annex was discovered and raided by the Nazis after they received an anonymous tip. Anne Frank and her family, along with the other people in hiding, were arrested and taken away. They were separated and sent to different concentration camps. Anne Frank and her sister Margot were first taken to Auschwitz and then to Bergen-Belsen, where they died of typhus in March 1945, just a few weeks before the liberation. Otto Frank was the only survivor of the family, and he returned to Amsterdam after the war. He found Anne's diary, which had been saved by one of their helpers, and decided to publish it, fulfilling Anne's wish of becoming a writer. The Diary of Anne Frank became a worldwide bestseller and a symbol of courage, hope, and humanity. Barbro Karlen was born in 1954 in Sweden, 9 years after Anne Frank's death. She was the daughter of Solveig and Maria Karlen and the sister of Lars and Eva. She was a gifted and precocious child who started to write poetry and stories at the age of 4. She published her first book, Man on Earth, at the age of 12 and became a celebrated and acclaimed writer in Sweden. She wrote 11 books by the time she was 16 and received several awards and honors. But Barbro Karlen also had a secret that haunted and tormented her since she was a baby. She believed that she was not Barbro Karlen, but Anne Frank. Barbro Karlen claimed that she had vivid and detailed memories of being Anne Frank in her past life. She said that she remembered her parents, her sister, her friends, and her life in Amsterdam. She said that she remembered the secret annex, the diary, and the Nazis. She said that she remembered the concentration camps, the hunger, the pain, and the death. She said that she felt a strong connection to Anne Frank and that she recognized her face, her voice, and her handwriting. She said that she suffered from nightmares, flashbacks, and trauma as a result of her past life experiences. Barbro Karlen's parents did not believe her and thought that she was making up stories or suffering from a mental illness. They took her to see psychiatrists who could not find anything wrong with her. They tried to ignore her claims and hoped that she would grow out of them, but Barbro Karlen persisted and insisted that she was Anne Frank. When she was 10 years old, she visited Amsterdam with her family and she said that she recognized the city, the streets, and the buildings. She said that she knew the way to the Frank house and that she led her family there without any map or guide. She said that she identified details of the house that had been changed or removed since Anne Frank's time. She said that she felt a strong emotion when she entered the house and that she cried when she saw Anne's diary. Barbro Karlen's visit to Amsterdam attracted the attention of the media and the public, and some people became curious and interested in her story. One of these people was Otto Frank, Anne Frank's father and the only survivor of the family. He heard about Barbro Karlen and he decided to meet her. He was skeptical and cautious at first, but he was also intrigued and moved by her. He asked her questions about Anne Frank, and he was surprised and impressed by her answers. He said that she knew things that only Anne Frank could have known, and that she had a remarkable resemblance to her. He said that he felt a bond and a recognition with her, and that he believed that she was his daughter in a previous life. Barbro Karlen continued to write and publish books, and she also became a public speaker and a media personality. She wrote about her past life as Anne Frank, and she shared her story with the world. She faced criticism and skepticism, as well as support and admiration. She said that she wanted to honor Anne Frank's memory and to spread her message of peace and love. She said that she wanted to help people understand and accept reincarnation and to explore their own past lives. She said that she wanted to heal from her trauma and to find her purpose and happiness in this life. Barbro Karlen later changed her name to Barbro Askapmark and moved to the United States. She became a dressage rider and won several medals and awards. She also worked as a developer and rider of simulators for education and training of dressage riders. She died in 2022 at the age of 68. After a long illness, she left behind a legacy of books, poetry, and stories, as well as a controversial and fascinating claim of being the reincarnation of Anne Frank. This is the story of Barbro Karlen, the woman who says she's Anne Frank reincarnated. This is the story of how a soul can transcend time and space, and how a dream can become a reality.